I want to do a little work with shoulder opening for you today. First of all, grab a belt or a scarf or a dog leash. If you don't, this is if you don't have a yoga belt. Yoga belt's a good thing to have. We use it a lot in yoga. So today's practice is for chair-based yoga. How can we work our shoulders in chair-based yoga? First thing I think it's important for you to understand is the beauty of the shoulder joint. It's a ball and socket joint. It has the ability to circle all the way around in both directions, yet it's strong enough to hold us in a push-up or a plank. So we've got to think about that, and then mostly you need to think about internal and external rotation. So if you're sitting still and you're holding your arms down, your thumbs are facing in, that's an internal rotation. As you take the thumbs out like you're a hitchhiker, it becomes external rotation. So internal, external, internal, external. Just think of those things as we're going through the practice. So let's start with our hands in Namaste. And we're going to press your weight down into your feet, engage your core, and on your inhale, take your fingers toward the floor. On your exhale, keep pushing into the floor, engage your core, bring the fingers towards your chest, elbows come up, and you may or may not be able to get this deeply into it. It doesn't matter, just put it with the breath and rotate. So here we are in an internal and external rotation. Think about how that's moving through. And one more time. And down. So I'm going to do the rope trick. If you don't understand the rope trick, it's on the YouTube channel. It's broken down for you. I'm not going to take the time to break it down now. I just want to use it for ourselves. So take the belt and put the buckle in your right hand. Take the right arm to 90 degrees, and here we go. Under, over, down, down. Slide back to the way you started, over, under, out. This takes practice, but it is broken down for you on that YouTube channel. Just called the rope trick or the belt trick. And we'll do one or two more. Beautiful thing about this is it's really rotating in that ball and socket joint in all directions. Great, and take that down and just put your belt, oh no, let's do one more with your belt. Hold on with your buckle with your right hand so you don't hit yourself in your teeth, and take your arms out and lift up. And we're just going to take a side bend and up and side bend to the other directions. So of course we always want to work all the positions of the spine every day. And over to the side bend, and then just a little bit of a twist and twist. So we're using our shoulders in a different place than we may if our arms are down. So it's really good to work in all directions. And then let that the belt come down. And let's come into a shoulder stretch at the wall. This is something that's really great to do every day, especially if you're really tight in your shoulders. So I'm going to just remove the chair, come up to the wall, place my feet facing the wall, walk your right arm out, roll your shoulder back, but support yourself now really comfortably with your left hand so you're really stable here. Roll that shoulder back and walk around until you feel your first resistance. Just barely, right? You want to let it release. And then as it begins to loosen up, you just walk a little bit further around. And then coming back, and we'll do it on the other side. Take your right hand to the wall to support you. Take your left arm out. Walk those fingertips out. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, walk around, and just stay until you feel it begin to relax a little bit. Don't force ever, don't force. And then come around. Great. And you can stay there as long as you want. You can repeat it both sides. I think this is one of those that you should do every day. Place your forehead on the wall and let your arms relax. Great. Bring your chair back and let's take a block. If you don't have a block, you can just mimic a block. Take a block into both hands. And again, so we're just going to work through the shoulder joint in this direction. Place your weight into your feet, the block between your hands, engage your core, and take your arms up and behind you, and front and down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just do this as many times as you want. Now, again, if you have a shoulder that pops when you're moving your arms, just move it where you can. Or you can bend your elbows and move it that way as well. There's always an option. There's always a way to work through an injury in chair-based yoga. Well, there is in any yoga, but especially in chair-based yoga. Okay? So now one more little thing here. Let's just take just some times to shrug the shoulders. Do you sit at a computer all day? Oh, this feels so good. And just roll your shoulders back and then roll them forward. Now take your hands to your chair and extend your legs straight out. And we're going to lift up and pull the heart forward, just to open up the front of the shoulders to offset some of that slumping over the computer. If you're like me, I just spend a lot of time at the computer. And then come back up. And one more seated shoulder stretch in this position. Open your legs and take your left shoulder out past your right knee. And come back up and on the other side. This just warms up the back a little bit or releases the back if you need it. And up, and one more to the other side. Great. Now let's go into some traditional poses that would be done. These are also hip openers. There are a lot of things. The poses have many different functions, but we're going to use it for thinking about the shoulder. So from here, take your right leg out and your left heel out. Now, if that's too much for your hips, you can do it with the leg in. Don't hurt your knee, all right? Inhale, float your arms up. Exhale, push down into your feet. Spread your wings. That means take the shoulder blades down and out. And then turn. So there's your twist. Lowering your arms, roll your shoulders back. We're coming into Warrior One. That's a back bend. Warrior Two. And you can stay in these poses longer if you choose. Reverse warrior. Just think about what's happening in the shoulder joint and underneath the arms. And then from reverse warrior, come into side angle. And we're just going to let a little arm circle go here. And you know, you don't have to do every pose every day. You could just pick one or two. If you have really tight shoulders and you want to work with that, one more time. Up and come up. Place your hands again onto your thighs and stretch across. And see how that is different each time. With everything we do, we add an extra level of opening. And then we'll go to your left side. Turn your left foot out. Turn your right heel out. Again, if this is too much for your knee, and if it is, have the courage to just admit it. And don't worry, because we're really working on our shoulders anyway. We're not trying to find all those nuances in the hips. I'll do another class on that. Inhale, push down into your feet, lift up through the pubic bone and float your arms up. Inhale and then exhale, twist around, lower your arms, roll your shoulders back, push down into your feet, engage your core and bring your arms up, come into your back bend. And then open to Warrior Two. Look at what happens in the shoulders. And just holding the arms here against gravity is strengthening. And then come into reverse warrior. And then side angle pose. And easy circles. Don't try to force this, just let it be really soft. And again, if something's popping, you could do it with your elbow bent and reverse the circle. Make it work for you. Great job. And stretch long. And then come up, bring your legs together, and let's take just a little windshield wiper. I want to do downward facing dog to plank. These are strengthening poses. We're finished with these. These can be a little bit hard on your shoulder joint. So if you have an injury, you might want to be just doing the first things and then maybe eventually work up to these. Be sensible. So we're going to turn to the side. Take your hands and hold the side of your chair. Make sure your wrists are straight and step back. Make sure. Step back. Bend your knees. And this is downward dog. So I'm taking the sit bones, pulling back, lengthening the spine in that forward fold. And then inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, pull the belly button back, bend the knees, elongate the spine into downward dog. So now we have a stretch of the shoulder. Here we have in plank, we have a strengthening of the shoulder. Let's do a couple of more. You can do this with your hands on the kitchen counter as well. This will be your last one in downward facing dog. Stretch it back, really lengthen, and then walk your feet in. And take your hands to your thighs. Roll your shoulders back. Take your sit bones back and your heart forward. And then come on up with a flat back. Great job. How do your shoulders feel? And we'll have to have a little Shavasana. Shavasana is the resting part of yoga and very important part of yoga. So go ahead and sit in your chair or lie down and put your legs up in the chair. Take a few breaths. Close your eyes. And as you breathe in light and energy into your shoulder joint. And as you exhale, let go of any tension or soreness or resistance. About 5 more breaths, just breathing in. Exhaling. All breath is through your nose if you can do it that way. Let your body just relax. Let your shoulders relax. Finish the breath you're on, and then do one more. So there you have it. A short practice to help you during your day to release and strengthen your shoulder joint. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Namaste.